Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepyashell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
My name is Dante, and I grew up in a side of town that's really rough when it comes to crimes and lots of other criminal activities. And I also grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother took me in when I was about 2 years old. My mom and dad passed away due to street gang violence. The guys came into my parents' house when I was there and robbed them and shot both of them. I was too young to remember, but I remember my grandmother was telling me that it was horrific. After that, my grandmother adopted me, and she done her best to raise me. But as I got older, my grandmother was unable to work, and she just got sicker and sicker. And so by the time I became 17, I had to look for me a job. I was balancing school while looking for a job. Eventually, I found a job at a convenience store across the street from my apartment complex. I got a job as a cashier, and I would work long hours while balancing school. The days when I worked there, I would always encounter strange people. Like I said before, it's on the side of town that's been known for large amount of crimes and other activities. This happened one night at around 1:30 a.m. I was stocking shelves, and it was very quiet. Throughout the last 2 hours, there was only about 3 customers that came in, and it was very quiet and peaceful, might I add. As I was rearranging things on the shelf, I heard the front door opening. I looked up and I saw 2 guys, and immediately I knew that they were up to no good. I tried my very best not to stereotype anyone based off appearance, but it was the way these guys were acting. It sent off red flags for me. They kept on scoping the store, looking around like they were trying to decide what they were going to do. It was the way they were acting, looking at one another. And then I saw them turn their attention towards me. They walked it up to me, and then they asked me a question that sent shivers down my spine.
How much money you got in that register in there?
I'm sorry, what? I asked, knowing what one of the men had said, but I was trying to psych myself out, thinking that I must have misheard. Then the other guy responded, "He asked you how much money you got in that register." My heart started to rapidly thump. It was thumping so hard that you could see it through my chest. And then both of the men pulled out a gun and turned it towards me.
We ain't gonna ask you again. How much money is in that register?
Look, I don't know, but I'll give you whatever you want out of that register. If you allow me just to go over there and I'll give you everything out of there. Just don't take my life, please. After I got done pleading with the men, one of the guys kicked me in my stomach. He kicked me so hard that the pain was excruciating, and it felt like he knocked something out inside of my stomach. It hurt it bad. I barely couldn't even stand. I felt queasy too, the way he hit me in my stomach. I was coughing, and I coughed up blood. Then the other man with his gun hit me on my face, and then I fell down to the ground, writhing in agony. Then both of the men started to attack me and beat me up. I can feel their blows on my body. It was like each time they punched me, a piece of my bone broke. This went on for what felt like hours, but realistically, it only was about a few minutes. This kept happening, and I thought this was gonna be the end, as the men just kept on brutally beating me up. It wasn't until I heard a voice shouted, "Hey, stop it right now! Freeze right now with your hands up in the air now!" And just like that, both of the men stopped beating up on me. I was in and out of consciousness, but for the brief amount of time I was awake, I saw 3 officers with their guns pointed at the 2 guys that almost took my life. After I saw that, I remember smiling, and that's all I remember. I woke up in a hospital, and I later found out that I had several broken ribs, a fractured hand, and a broken nose and a bruised up eye on my right side. I had a bunch of scars and scrapes on my face and on my stomach and chest, as well as my legs. But I was gonna be alright. I remember seeing my grandmother sit right next to me. And the minute I saw that, I was really heartbroken because she wasn't feeling too well herself. It must have took a lot of strength for her to get here and to sit by my bedside. I can't imagine how she was feeling, worrying about me. Even though I was the one in the hospital bed, I was worried about her. I was worried about the income. But luckily, the officers captured the guys that harmed me. And luckily, there was good people who helped my grandmother and me out. And everything worked out well. I'm thankful for those cops that came in and stopped those men from taking my life. It was really a miracle because I did not have my phone nowhere near me, and I was concerned that I was gonna die right there at the convenience store, and I was concerned about my grandmother, that she was gonna be without her grandson. I'm doing all right now. I was able to get back up and I was able to work at a new job. It paid better, and once I was making enough money, I was able to move my grandmother out of that apartment into a better town with less crime, and it was a lot more peaceful. We're doing all right now, and my grandmother is still alive, but she's obviously getting more sicker, and her time may be coming soon, but I'm glad that I was able to get her a nice place to stay at, so that way she can live her final years somewhere safe and nice.